If you have a small account, $5,000 or less, and you want to sell cash secured puts and start generating monthly income, this video is exactly for you. Yesterday, I made a video about managing a small account selling cash secured puts on Rocket Lab. If you missed that video, click on the link up above. In order to do that, you needed $5,850 to manage that account. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you need less than $5,000. I'm going to show you how to sell cash secured puts on ticker symbol SOFI or SoFi. This is a stock that I've been selling options since last year. Literally, I just made $21,000 this month, like 3 days ago, rolling this option, and I have a $14 strike. I'm going to show you how to do it the proper way to give you the most advantageous situation possible. So if you don't have a lot of money, but you want to generate income, then this video is for you. Before we go any further, and I'm going to share my screen, I just want to let you know one more time, there are rules of thumb for this game. The first rule of thumb is you want to sell options 4 weeks out. That's the key number. That's what I do. You could do 4 to 6, but 4 weeks is the best possible time. Why 4 weeks? When selling options, time decay is your friend. Something called theta is your friend. Every day, an option loses value. When an option loses value, this is great for you as the seller and very bad for the person that is buying the options. That's why you want to do 1 month options. You can do shorter, you can do longer, but 1 month is optimal, in my personal opinion, for being able to get the most bang for your buck and be able to manage your position effectively. Now that you know the duration of how long you want to do, you just have to find your strike price. How do you find your strike price? You're going to be looking for something called a 20 delta-ish, which means it could be a little higher, it could be a little bit lower. If you missed the video about what delta is, click on the link up above. But essentially, delta is the correlation between the change of price of your stock option to the change of $1 of stock price up or down. It also is a rough estimate of the percentage that this contract is going to expire worthless and you don't get assigned, which means in your favor. So you're looking for something called a 20 delta, which means you have roughly an 80% chance in your favor that this contract is going to expire worthless. And finally, you want to collect 2% on your money, and you want to do this every single month, rinse and repeat over and over again. It's honestly really simple. The quicker you get to it, the quicker you do this, the easier it's going to become. And the more you start managing these positions, the easier it's going to become. And you're going to be very comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. A cash secured put, all you're doing is saying, I am willing to buy a certain stock at a certain price called the strike price at a certain date later on called the expiration date. Now we know everything about cash secured puts. Let me show you the example and take a look at the screen. Currently, SoFi is trading at $13.61. It's down 3% for the day. I would have loved to show you this video at around 10:35 a.m. when SoFi was down 5%. You're going to get the most premium when you are selling options, cash secured puts, on red days. And you're going to get the most premium when selling covered calls on green days. Because today is a red day, unlike the Rocket Lab video, which I showed you yesterday, which was a green day. This is an excellent time to get into a cash secured put. However, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy who retired at 41 years old in 2024. I'm currently 42 years old. I am chilling. I make dividend income to pay my bills. I sell options to buy myself nicer things in life, like vacations, pay for my kids' school, so on and so forth. And I also have a couple of long-dated options to generate asset accumulation and asset appreciation. So don't listen to me. Do your own research, do your own due diligence. I'm just a guy speaking. I am not a financial advisor. So you have 1362. First thing you're going to do is right here, you're going to press trade options. But before you trade options, I want you to do something like this and press year to date. And the very first thing you want to look at is the absolute bottom of the stock. And by year to date, you could do the last year, you could do the last 3 months, you could do the last 6 months. I'm just giving you a general idea. You guys should mix and match and play with this yourself. The reason why you're looking for the absolute bottoms is because former dip acts as a floor, while a peak acts as a ceiling. So you have a peak right here of around $18. It's going to be hard to break $18 going up, but you also have a dip over here of $9.50, which is going to be hard to break because this becomes a floor. So preferably you want to be able to sell as close as possible to this $9.50. Doesn't mean you're going to get it, but that's preferably what you want to do. Also, there's a nice floor right here of $10.70, and there's another floor right here of roughly the same thing of $11. So now you have an idea of what's ideal in selling a cash secured put for SoFi. Now let's see what options are available to us. Press trade SoFi. It's right here on the bottom right hand side of the screen. It's automatically going to say buy. I want you to press sell. Instead of call, I want you to change it to put. And then I want you to go 4 weeks out. Today doesn't count. So 1 week would be May 23rd. 2 weeks would be May 30th. 3 weeks would be June 6th. And 4 weeks would be June 13th. Very, very simple. You are going to be looking for automatically something that says 80%. So this looks good. Possibly this looks good. And possibly this looks good. Without even looking at anything else, the delta and other information or technical analysis, which I'm going to show you in this video, automatically in your mind, you're going to say, well, this looks really, really good. The $12.50 strike, the $12 strike, or the $11.50 strike, because this gives me a 75 to 85% chance in my favor of this not getting assigned. All right, that's really, really cool. And now you're going to start clicking on these. So the 1150, you're going to look at the deltas. This gives you a 0.13 delta. This means that you're super safe. It's a little too safe. Go to the 1250. 1250 as a 0.25 delta, which means you're safe, but you're not that safe. So most likely you're going to be doing this one right here, which is a 0.18 delta, practically a 0.19 delta. This seems like it's a decent play to do. So we're going to be looking right now at the $12 play. Also, let's just go to technicals now. So we're looking at the $12 play, all right? In technicals, this is TradingView. I always look at the same thing. You have a general chart over here that's going to give you something called moving averages. All these lines are moving averages, and Bollinger Bands, which is these blue lines, the top and the bottom. And then there's going to be these volumes. If you want to make your life super simple for technical analysis, for selling options, make sure you're using Bollinger Bands. You have a top one and you have a bottom one. And this is just the range. So you also have these moving averages, and moving averages act as supports. You have a 100-day, which is the white line. You have a 20-day, which is the yellow line. You have a 50-day, which is the green line. And you have this little red line right here, which is the 200-day. The orange line is just the middle point between the two Bollinger Bands. And the white line is 100 days, yellow line is 20 days, 50 days is the green, 200 day is the red, and that means 200 is long term, 100 is midterm, green is short term, and the yellow line is extreme short term, right? The extreme immediate future. And then you have these huge lines of volume, and volume acts like support or ceilings and floors, whatever. So you see that there's a massive volume line right here at $12.91. You see that there's a support right here at $12.75. And then you see that there's support right here roughly at $12 and at $12, right? So you see the green line is at $11.99, the red line is at $12, the green line is at $12, the yellow line is at $12.76. The point is, you want to be selling above this, right? Because it's going to be really hard to break the 100-day, the 20-day, the 50-day, the 200-day, the middle of the Bollinger Bands, and this volume right here. So all of a sudden, you're like, okay, I want to sell somewhere on this bottom of the half because this all acts as support. And if it breaks through this, if it goes below this $12 range, you are in trouble because there is essentially no support except for the bottom of the Bollinger Band. There's a couple of other things that you could look at. For example, the RSI. This looks like it's no longer overbought. Although it's on the higher end, it's no longer overbought, which means there is room for this to grow back up. There is room for this to go back up. It doesn't mean that it's going to go up, but it means that you're in much better shape than if you were selling a cash secured put right here where SoFi would be above 70 on the RSI. You don't really want that when you are selling cash secured puts. You want to sell covered calls when it's here. Preferably, you want to sell cash secured puts when the RSI is over here, but this is okay for what we're doing right here. And then you have something like this, which is called the oscillator statistician. I can't even pronounce this thing. Same thing like the RSI. You want to be selling covered calls when this is going through the roof. Like right here, this would have been a good time to sell a covered call. Since this thing is starting to go lower, we are now below the 80. We're higher end, but we're below the 80. I'm feeling okay with selling this cash secured put. So these are the technicals. So now you know that you have a couple of options, and it's looking like that $12 is your game. Now let's calculate if you're going to make enough percentage on that, right? The technicals make sense. Numbers make sense so far, except for the percentage you would get on your collateral. Let's now do the final calculation. You have this number right here, $12, 0.19 delta, and you have this thing 24 cents. Let's go to the calculator. You're going to go 100 divided by the strike price, which is $12, and you are going to times it by the premium, which is going to be right here, 0.24% times 0.24. And you want this number to be 2% or very close to 2%. This gives you literally exactly 2%. So if you're a beginner selling options, this is your play. You want to sell a $12 strike expiring on June 13th, and you want to collect 0.24 cents. So click on this if you want to make this play. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you to do this. The good news is there's a bid and an ask. So let's go 4 contracts. Why 4 contracts? Because the collateral that you need is 100 times 12, right? 100 shares. Every contract is 100 shares times $12 strike, $1,200 times 4. Wow, you can do 4 contracts if you had $5,000. No problem. So now you're going to do 4 contracts. And the good thing is there's a bid and an ask. Do not take the lower number. There's going to be 24 cents and 26 cents. So you can actually get 0.25. Now you might say, Adam, what's the difference? It's only 1 penny. It is 1 penny, but that 1 penny makes a really, really big difference over the long term. Check it out. 100 divided by 12 times 0.25. So now instead of getting 2%, you're getting 0.08. Okay, so now let's do 2.083 times 12. Now you're getting 24.996 or 25%. So before you would have been getting 24% for the year, but now you're getting 25% for the year. So you just increased the amount of income you're getting by 1%, which is roughly a 4 or 5% increase, right? Instead of 24%, you are now getting 25%. That's not bad, right? That's a really nice raise. So if you wanted to do this, you put in 25%. As you can see, it's going to say right here, medium fill likely. Press review your order. I don't have funds because I'm using a demo account in my Roth IRA. I don't have money in this one. But if you had money in here, all you got to do is submit or complete, and it would go through. And it shows you right here, your collateral is $4,800, and you would collect $100. The $100 that you collect, that's your premium. You would collect it right now. It hits your account right now, no matter what happens. If you happen to buy these shares at $12, in reality, you are only paying $11.75. Why? You collect a 25% premium, and your actual cost basis is the strike price minus the premium that you collected. And if you do this over and over and over again, month in, month out, your cost basis drops dramatically. I have a SoFi $14 strike that expires June 13th. And that $14 strike through all of the premiums that I collected is actually right now like $12.75. If you want to see another video about me rolling the SoFis, just click on this link right here about an underwater play management. It's actually me doing SoFi, Robinhood, and MSTR. I hope you guys watch all of these videos. If you guys have any other questions, please let me know down below. I hope this answers you a little bit and you guys start getting familiar with this. Don't be scared of selling options. This is something that you're going to get proficient in the more you do. The more you try, the more you manage, the more calm, cool, and collective you get. And remember, you have all the tools you need in the toolbox to make this happen and be successful. I am no better than you. I was in your position a few years ago. I made some brilliant plays buying long dated call options. I made a lot of money on it, and I decided to completely retire and just focus on income plays, which allows me to sleep much better at night. Guys, have a great day. And if you missed it, click on this link right here. It's a playlist. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.